What's going on, guys? You all here. Welcome to Confabulate, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. I'm your host, Will Sanchez. Thank you so much for stopping by. And this week, you guys, we have Marcie Chapa coming on the podcast. I'm like pinching myself. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so honored. I cannot believe it. I got to record with Miss Chapa, and I'm so excited. She took time out of her extremely busy schedule. This was literally done like during her break because she's an educator. This was like done during her break. She only gave me like 30, 40 minutes to do this. And I had all these questions prepared. So I'm like, dude, I hope I get through all my questions, which I did. I'm very happy about it. And I enjoyed every single second of it. Miss Chapa is a legend. We all love her so much. She has her band right now. They're doing shows all around town. Make sure you check them out. I'm going to put a link down below. Everyone knows that she played the drums for Beyonce. We got to talk about that. And I'm just super excited. Thank you, Miss Chapa, for taking the time. Yeah, I'm pinching myself about it. Let's just start. I'm very excited. So this is my interview with Marcie Chapa. Hope you enjoy it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, sorry, I had to be on my phone versus my work computer.
No, it's all right. We made it work. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah,
I know you're extremely busy. I know you have a little bit of time, so I appreciate you taking the time to be on today. Thank you.
yeah. How's it going?
Good. It's nice to see you. How's everything going with work, with school, with your with working in Salinas now?
It's good. It's different. I mean, different as in like not necessarily different. Different kids are the same anywhere you go. It's just
Mhm.
different environment of bigger school, different colors, and no more black and silver. Now it's purple and gold.
Yes. Talk to me about the decision to go to a new school, a new environment, and all that.
Honestly, it was it was a hard decision. It was based on my family.
Hmm.
My 4-year-olds were going to be attending a preschool down the street. And so when this job opportunity came up, I was like hesitant. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Because I had it going on at North County. I had it set in my way. Um, and so it was basically, yeah, it was more money, but it wasn't just about the money. It was more about the fact that I was 5 minutes from my kids. God forbid something happens to them, I can always just get to them. And
Right.
the school was like eight minutes away from my house. So it was kind of like a no-brainer. It's like where North County was like 20 to 25 minutes depending on traffic. Um, and I don't know, it was a family decision, and me and the wife were like, we should do this. I applied, I interviewed, and then I got the job. And
Yeah.
it was hard decision when I had to tell, because I did tell certain students personally versus like through a band app. I told them
Right.
the ones that are really close to that were, I saw them more as students because of their situation that they had going on. I was really, really close to them, either them or their families.
Mm.
So I called them into my office and I told them there, and they cried. I cried. I was upset. And then I will say, I continued my relationship with them. Like I would still keep in touch with them. I would still contact them, text them. I think I gained more of a personal relationship outside of school with these students once I left, where I couldn't really have that relationship with them while I was still their teacher. And so, yeah. And now they're all in college and I still keep in touch with them. So it's kind of cool now.
Yeah, that's beautiful to see. Yeah, I know a lot of your students that have connected with you throughout the years, and you've left a big impact on their lives. I wanted to know like the decision to become an educator and to teach people. How did that come across, and how did you end up doing that?
That was never like a goal of mine. It just kind of like landed on my lap. Because I was touring, I was touring with Beyonce. I got home from like 5, 6 years of touring, and I decided to just take like some time away, and I just got a phone call. Would you be interested in being a band director for the year? Like, what are you doing for the rest of the year? And
Wow.
I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, my old band director called me because he was still there at the high school that I went to, and He literally called me like at 7 or 8 in the morning, I think, and he's like, "What are you doing for the remainder of the year?" And it was like school was starting in Texas the very following year, very following week. My bad, the very following week, and I was like, well, "What do you mean? What am I, the rest of the year? I don't know. Like, I don't even know what's going on today." And he was like, I need a third band director because we had three band directors there. And I was like, and I had a degree. Only thing I didn't have was I didn't have a credential. But in Texas, you can do this kind of emergency certification. I don't really know if you can do it out here, but I know in Texas you could. If you have a degree, you can get into a program and teach and get paid at the same time you're going through the process. And so I was like, why not? And my nephew was getting ready to start the high school that I be teaching at. So I said, better reason to be around him more often and see him like grow and just make sure my nephew was set up right because he was going to be in the band program as well. So I did it, and then I just fell in love with it, still not knowing this is what I wanted to do and continue to do. I did it for 2 years, and then I went to elementary music because I was still playing. I was still very heavily involved in the music scene. Still traveling, still performing, and it was just became too much because I was the Texas band are a little bit depends on where you are in California, but over there I was putting in 80 hours a week, still trying to play and still trying to do everything else. It was time consuming and I couldn't maintain it, and it's not for everybody. And I went to elementary music and that wasn't for me. But then I met, and, we started doing these like summer programs at Big Sur, where I met some people from Castroville in North County, is where I met Yvette Padilla. And she was just like, would you ever be interested in coming to work out here? And I just like looked at her and I smiled and I said, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And then the job came to surface and I'm the kind of person if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I went for it. And here I am, this is my what, ninth, 10th year? I'm on my 14th year of teaching and education in general. So yeah, been out here a while.
Wow. Yeah, I remember when you became a teacher in North County. I think I was a sophomore or a junior, and I never had the pleasure of having you as a teacher, even though I've always been musical. I grew up singing in church and in choir, and I was more into the singing stuff, but I never played any instruments. But I always had a lot of respect for you, and I appreciate you making an impact on everyone's lives and for being such a great teacher for the time that you were there. So we loved having you there.
Oh, it was North County place for me. It's where I got my start as a head director because I was never the head director in Texas. I was always the assistant, and I was given the opportunity, and it was kind of nice because it's like I got to run it how I wanted to run it, how I always envisioned a program to be run from my perspective. There's so many ways that you can do it. There's so many to be successful. Depending on what's your vision. And my vision was be more and have an impact on the students, relationship based. Really get to know kids, really try to see them through a purpose and where they're going in their life, whether it's music or not. And a lot of the kids that came through North County that I got to, you know, make an impact for didn't get involved in music. They all went on a different path, but I still keep in touch with like quite a few of them, like Gabe Coaster's one. I talk to him quite often. I'm always bugging him about expertise on like TikTok and stuff like that because he's like the king of it. But yeah, and there's him, and I don't know if you know Nicole Anastasia,
I
the
do.
Anastasia family. Nicole. Yeah, she's like my nanny. So it's like she's really close to my family. Yeah, her family is close to me. I know Gabe's family pretty well. Like when I talk to his family, his mom's always so sweet. Every blue moon, Cameron. And there's quite a few. I mean, I remember you. I remember you there, and you would come in and play piano from time to time. But like, it's just a different like when kids ask me now, like, do you miss North County? And I go, it's not that I miss North County. It was something special about North County. It was like a little gem of its own. Because it was like by itself, where here in Salinas you have five high schools, different high schools going on. And every high school has their own like thing. But in North County, it's just North County.
Yes.
It's just the only school. And you don't really like have any rivals because you don't really you don't have anybody to be a rival with. It's like you're within you're in your own little bubble by yourself. And it was hard to like see it that way because I would tell kids like get out of Castroville, like Castroville is this small. Like there's so much opportunity out there if you just get the heck out of it. And it's like always tell kids, you can always come back. Like there's so much to this world that you need to see outside of Castroville. And granted, Castroville is amazing. It's a heart of its own, and I love everything. I mean, I still go out there, like take my son to get his haircuts there, the barber shop there. You know, every blue moon, I have friends that I go visit and go to some of their fiestas, to their little pachangas. I'll still go out there and go hang out.
Nice.
But it's just something special about that place.
Yeah, yeah. I'm interested to know about growing up musically. Do you come from a musical family? When did you get started in music and all that good stuff?
Yes and no. My dad was a DJ,
Mm-hmm.
and so we always had music in the house. And he wasn't like a DJ for like, Mexican music. He was just a DJ for parties, whether it was a quinceañera, a wedding, a birthday party, or just a house party. He was just a DJ. So we always had music going on in the house, especially when we were all home. If he didn't have to go to a gig, he was had music going on from morning until whenever. And it wasn't Mexican music. It was a variety of like Motown, R&B, 70s, old school. And then he would play the Mexican music because I would go with him sometimes to go set up at his job events like a quince or a wedding. And he would always like play the Mexican music, and I would sit there in the background like, oh, he's playing Juan Gabriel. It's awesome. So I think that's where I got the music like a bug. And
Yeah.
then but to get involved in music, it wasn't like push, like you have to be in band. My parents were young parents when they had us. My brother was in band, and I kind of saw all the cool things he was doing because I was younger. He was like going on trips, he was going here and going there, and missing school, and I hated school. So it was an avenue to get me to do something. So my mom was like, you got to be involved in school. You're just not going to run the streets. So I was like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, I'll join band. And she's like, all right, what do you want to do? And I said, I think I originally started with the tuba, and she laughed at me and said, it's bigger than you. And then I said the saxophone, and she was like, it's too expensive. And then I said, all right, fine, drums. And then I met the band director, and took one look at me and saw me like bouncing off the walls. And he's like, yeah, she's a drummer. So then I went with that. I mean, little did my mom know drums are expensive because there's not, saxophone is just like one saxophone that you can like use if you maintain it and take care of it
Right.
throughout your entire high school career. But drums, there's so many worlds of drums that you need to buy. There's keyboard, there's drum set, there's Latin percussion, there's the orchestral area. There's so much constantly, rotating sticks. There's cymbals. And I was like, yeah, joke's on you, mom. Because she was like, sax is too expensive. I'm like, joke's on you because the drums are expensive. But yeah, and that's kind of like how, and then I was just a determined kid to be good at it. I would never allow myself to suck at things. So I was just that kind of motivated kid. And my motivation was to be the best. Not necessarily saying I'm the best in the world, but where I was at that time, I wanted to be better than just the average player. And that was my goal. And I accomplished it in that area. Now, different standards when you get out of your bubble and you go out to the world and you're dealing with more competition is and that's what happened, but was good because it's good competition. Competitions is good for you because it makes you grow and get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sure you've told this story many times,
I
but
talk,
how did you get into working with Beyonce and all that good stuff?
I auditioned. I was playing in a club at a place in Houston called the Sky Bar, and I was in the house band. We played 3 nights a week, and a very popular, well established nightclub where it was live music every night. It was live music, whether it was salsa, jazz, R&B, house band. Um, and her dad, Matthew Knowles, would frequent the place. Him and the wife at that time, Miss Knowles, would frequent the place, and he would always like see me, and he's like, I'm gonna get you to play with my daughter." People talk all the time in places, so I don't ever take anybody serious. And
Mm.
then, but Music World, that's when she was part of Music World, and Music World was in Houston. Well, is in Houston. Um, and when she set up like a worldwide, well, national wide, like audition, like all girl band. Initially, I thought it was like a hoax, like it's just going to be some kind of reality show. And I was like, I want nothing to do with the reality show. I remember I was in the gym, and I got a phone call from one of my dear friends, and he's like, did you hear Beyonce's gonna have auditions? It's looking for an all-girl band." And I was like, "No, it's gonna be a reality show. I don't want anything to do with it." He's like, "No, it's gonna be legit," because he had insight from people in the music world because he was connected. He's like, "No, it's legit. Like she wants to go on tour, she wants to do that." And I was like, No, you're lying." He's like, "No, I'm serious." So I was like, "All right." So I looked it up, I looked into it, and then I even passed it along to some other female musicians out there. One who ended up being in the group as well, Brittany Washington, and it was I decided to go like, all right, I'll focus on it. So I spent the entire weekend like learning the music, practicing a bit, and then Monday was the audition. And I I purposely showed up like at the last like 30 minutes. Because
Mm.
well, I was still finishing up my undergrad. I was like in my last class of the summer. I just had this one last class to finish my undergrad. And
Wow.
I had class and I was like, I'm not gonna miss class 'cause I have to go. And so then I showed up to the audition. And as I got there, I got a phone call from somebody from Music World saying, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "Where are you? We've been waiting for you." I was like, "I just pulled up. Like, I'm getting my stuff out of the car. I'm coming up right now." They're like, "Okay, because we've been waiting for you. We didn't think you were going to audition." I was like, "Of course I'm audition. I had things to do, but I'm here."
Yeah.
So I auditioned. I auditioned on drum set and percussion, but I didn't want the drum set part. I just wanted to showcase that I could do it. And I focused on the percussion side more. And then like two nights later, I got a phone call like around midnight saying, "All right, you're gonna go on to New York for um, the final audition for the second one." And I was like, "Oh, so every city, every major city, like Houston, Atlanta, Chicago, LA, New York, Philly, Boston, all had their own band. They created a band with every city. So they sent those main people from every major city. So Houston's band, we went, and then they just started like pulling us. All right, you go play, you go play. They start mixing, see how. Then they just watched how we gelled, and how we got along. And I think they literally picked the perfect group because, I mean, every girl that or lady that made the group was a talent of their own and was a force to be not a force not to be reckoned with amongst themselves. I mean, you had Tia Fuller, Divinity Rocks, Nikki Glaspie, BB, Kim, Rie, Brittany, and Caddy. I guess I say them all. Oh, and we had Kiku, but then eventually Kiku left and it became Crystal. But every female could play their butts off. Every girl was amazing. And it was interesting to be like, wow, look at all these females. Because I didn't get to be around a lot of females. Houston didn't have a big scene of female players. There
Mm.
was like a handful of them. So it was really nice to be around such talent and of all female talent. And then we just gelled. And then by Sunday, they were like, all right, you're the band. You're going to LA next week. I mean, it just happened so fast. Like we went to LA to go do BET Rocks. And then a couple weeks later, we went to Japan. Then we went to Europe. And it was just like boom, boom. It just happened so fast. And it just kind of like it perfectly fit in my life because I finished my last class of my undergrad. And and then I got this. So it was like my graduation gift in my mindset. I was like, oh, I get to graduate to go on tour. So
Yeah.
it was a really cool big
Yeah.
learning experience. It was fun. Learned a lot. But yeah.
Yeah. What is touring life like? Because I've seen documentaries, and then every time artists post these tour dates, and I'm like, what do you mean 2 nights in a row, like in New York, and then the next day they're like in Florida, and like all these dates, and you're always performing and traveling. So, what is touring life like? How exhausting is it, and all that?
Um, well, like my tour, when I do tour stuff like now, like I do a lot of one-offs now, and it's exhausting. I think one-offs to me are more exhausting than touring life because touring life, you still have some time to rest. Or
Okay.
depending on how you're traveling. If you're traveling by bus, you can sleep on the bus. If you're
Mm.
traveling by flight, well, then you gotta like probably sleep for a little bit on the hotel room and then get up early in the morning and fly out to the next place. But I mean, you're literally sleeping in a hotel, living in a suitcase. Is it for everybody? No, it's not for everybody. It was for me at that time in my life. Would I do it again with the right artist? Yeah, I would. It wouldn't just be with anybody. It would be with the right artist that I felt fit for me in my life now and my purpose in life now. Now I'm a mom. I have twins. They're 4.5 years old. Being gone for 8 months out of a year and not being around present to their life would be really hard. But there's I mean, some artists make it happen where you can bring your kids or you can have your kids come visit. So it's like for me, if I was to do it again, it'd have to be with an artist who'd understand the family boundary life. Like, hey, this is mom. They need to see their kid. So we're taking a week off. And it wouldn't be just for me. It'd be like, everybody is a parent or as such. Because the touring life, when you're young and you're not, you don't have that family commitment. Yeah, it's a great time. You don't have to worry about waking up and having to do this and, checking in with your family, checking in there, checking in there. Oh, D'Angelo just died. Oh, wow. Did you know that?
Huh?
D'Angelo died. Whoa. Just popped up
Right.
on my phone. Sorry. Yeah, D'Angelo.
Right now?
Yeah, I just popped up on my phone. D'Angelo is dead at 51. Crazy.
Whoa.
I know. I like just did a gig and I did one of his tunes.
Whoa.
Ah, it's crazy. It's a crazy time right now. A lot of people are just passing. Um, but
Whoa.
yeah, that caught me off guard. Sorry. That caught
No,
me off
me
guard.
too. Me too. Me too.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, wow.
But touring and touring life, it's fun. And you get out of it what you do for it. Like if you want to be that musician who's out fun, having fun every night, and you're out at the scenes, going out to all the club hits, do that. If you don't want that life, you don't really have to. You could just go to the gig, go back to your hotel, and just chill. Like there was nights I did a little both. I would go out to go check out live music and go, meet musicians from the local cities. And there was nights where I'm like, I'm tired. I just want to go back to the hotel room and just relax and watch TV. At that time it was Skype. I'd Skype my parents or my grandma, and I just chill. It just depended
Mm,
on like how often. And there was some nights where every night it was like we're going to go check out some music, gonna go check out some music. But I didn't have I didn't have responsibilities, so it depends on the person. Because there's some people out there, musicians out there, who are not about going out there and being in the scene. They just want to do their job and go back to the room.
right.
Totally cool. Totally respectful. There's some who want to be out there everywhere, and that's totally fine too, because you want to meet musicians everywhere. And the more you know people, the better your name is out there anyway. So I did a balance of it. So it
Hmm.
was fun. So when I do like one-offs, it's to me it's hard. It's harder because I'm always the fool, and I take the early flight out the very next morning after a show. Like we'll have
Okay.
a late show, and by the time I get to the room, it's like 1 in the morning, and I have like a 4 a.m. call time to get to the airport, and I'm dying. I'm like, oh my God, why did I do this? But then I do it, get home at a reasonable time to see my children and enjoy my children for the rest of the day versus getting home. Or in my past life, before children, I would get home like around, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night so I can sleep in, get some breakfast, relax, and then get home. So the definitely tables have turned, but that's because I choose to do that. And I suffer, but it's all worth it for me because it's those kids that I love to come home to, even if I'm gone for a day or two, and I'm like, I missed you. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When you were touring or performing all those years, what were did you have any pinch me moments in terms of any like dream venues that you got to perform at or some musicians that you really looked up to that you got to meet? Any kind of pinch me moments that you're like, oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. I remember playing at Madison Square Garden. That was pretty dope. It's like, man, playing at
Wow.
Madison Square Garden. Like I mean, back in the day, I used to, go buy VCR cassettes to go watch concerts, live concerts from Madison Square Garden or the London O2, like that venue.
Beautiful.
It was, certain venues definitely hit home. I think one of the venues, it wasn't the venue, it was the city. It was in Korea, South Korea we played. And the energy of those people, of that audience, not those people, that audience was like beautiful. They were just like in sync, loving it. Energy was full and you felt it. And I think at one moment I stopped playing because it was like a point where I didn't have to play. And I just like looked up and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And like we all had like inner ears where we could talk to each other. And I think one of the girls, maybe Divinity or Nikki, was like, yo, like, this is crazy. Like, do you see where we are and what we're doing? And I was like, yeah, this is crazy. It's intense. And it's like, like at one moment, like, your eyes get watery. And it wasn't because it's like I'm playing amazing, music, the best music in the world. No, it was just, it was about the energy that we provided, that they provided back, that made us want to play better that night. And then the energy that the artist, Beyonce would bring in, because she brought energy like there's no tomorrow. And you cannot just sit there and just play with her, because you have to bring it, and you have to entertain, and you got to move, you got to smile, you got to jump. So it was just like another level of playing. And like some of it could have been something easy for me. I could have been like having a shaker, but I just didn't do this. Like it was like
Yeah.
smiling, getting into it, looking at the drummer, looking at the bass player, looking at the saxophone, looking at Beyonce, like, yeah. And like we're looking at each other. And it was just like we were just in the mood, like we were just
Fully
in
in
it.
it.
And we're locked in from the moment we started. So, and that's something that I try to like teach my students now about how to be locked in, how to feel it versus getting out of the paper, and just like learn how to just feel it here. Because to me, it's
Mhm.
like if you can lock in there based on feel and get out of the paper, the sound and the energy of that music will do something so much better, more than what it will just playing, verbatim the music,
Mhm.
written notes.
Yeah. Who are some of your musical heroes, influences, inspirations, either that inspired you growing up or even today that continue to inspire you musically?
Back in the day, it was always Gloria Estefan. Like it was my
Love
life
her.
dream to like one day play with her, but it didn't happen. But I did meet her. Did meet
Wow.
her. Absolutely amazing. I still like love her. I see her and I'm like, oh my God, it's Gloria. Like she was just like my idol. And it's just because I think it was just because how she paved the way for Latinos. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was. And her music was just different and people loved it. It didn't matter what you looked like. You heard Gloria and you loved it. And I went to a couple of shows of hers, and just like everything about her show was just absolutely amazing, intense, full out energy. Like you could not just sit there and just like watch. You had to like, you were dancing her. And then now it's not even a hero, it's just someone who I idolize and I just think I just like love. And if they were to ever want a percussionist in their band, I definitely would drop everything to go play with them. Would be Pink.
I love Pink. I gotta
I
see her.
love Pink. I love everything about what she's about. I love what her music's about. I love what she advocates for. I love everything. It's everything about her. Like I've seen her live and I'm just kind of like, oh my God, I just love her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's such a rock star. I gotta see
Like
her
you never
live.
heard a bad story about me. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Saw her
gotta.
in Vegas. Great show.
Yeah, I saw her in Oakland and phenomenal. Like so many great songs like Glitter in the Air and Who Knew and all of her hits. Like she's
Hmm.
phenomenal. She can sing, she flips around,
Oh yeah.
dancing. I love her so much. She's great.
Oh yeah. She's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's I mean, I've got my music taste has changed. Not for bad. It's changed to the point where it's like I like a little bit of different kind of music now. Like I'm into everything, don't get me wrong. I'm into everything. But like I love Pink. I try to introduce it to my kids all the time. And then I'm into country now. Like I like country. Um, what else do I like? I like a lot of singer-songwriter stuff. That's for sure. I'm still into Latin music. I love Latin music right now. I'm really into Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. I was
Yes.
like, I don't know how you can't be. Doesn't
Right.
matter. Like his music is, especially this past album, is like really, really great. Um, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm into everything. I mean, of course, I'm into jazz as well. Like I constantly will love jazz.
Yeah. Have you been able to perform? Have your kids been able to go to any of your shows and see you perform yet?
My personal children,
Yes.
yeah, I just recently performed. Sorry, I just recently performed at the Monterey Jazz Fest with my personal band. It's called
Hmm.
the Marcie Chapa Project, and the wife brought them, and it wasn't successful because she's like, yeah, they really weren't into it. They were just kind of like, blah, blah. I mean, they're four. They're like, blah, 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 blah. Every now and then, my daughter will like she'll look over me and catch my eye, and she'll be like, Mama. And then it's like, there's a squirrel. Oh, and she turns around. So like they're into it. They saw me play. back in September as well, over at I think it was Wells Rock Festival. I was playing out there with Nth Power. It was like a Bob Marley tribute event, and we brought the kids. And at one moment, daughter did the same thing. She's looks over at me and she puts her hand in the air and it's like, "Yeah, Mama's playing
Um,
drums." And then it's like, "Oh, there's a hula hoop. Let me go over there now." So they were hanging out backstage, like chilling, like they were somebody important. It's like they're like, "Oh, we're VIP." They were telling people we're VIP. It was
yeah.
kind of cute.
Yeah.
But
Are they musically yet, or do you plan to teach them any kind of instruments as they
I
grow up?
I don't know. My daughter loves to sing and she loves to dance, but she doesn't like to do it on site. Like if you said, "Hey, sing and dance," she'll no. It's like it's on her. It's on her time. Don't force her. And then my son, he really loves country music. He's a huge Luke Combs fan.
Yeah.
So he sings it like anytime he right now that's his thing right now. He gets in the car and he's like, "Mama, play something of Luke Combs." I'm like, "All right." And I like Luke Combs. So I'm like, "All right, let's play some Luke Combs." And he's like loving it. And more the girls like, she wants Bad Bunny, she wants Carol G, she wants Lainey Wilson. I mean, she likes variety. She likes Spanish music. She likes La India. Where he's strictly like, "Nope, this is what I like."
Yeah.
They're
Um,
quite different.
yeah. What are some goals for you left, either to achieve in your career or in your personal life? Is there anything left that you want to achieve?
Um, right now it's just achieve things. I would say you get my band up and running to play out more, and possibly go into the studio and do some recording.
Hmm.
That's so, I mean, I play in cover bands. I play here. I'll sub for people, but if it's something that I'm like I'm gonna put meaning and effort into, it's gonna probably be my personal band because it's my name, and I'm very passionate about that project that I started like probably right around January is when I started it.
Oh wow.
So, and we only had two gigs because it was brand new and everybody's kind of from all over the place. A lot of them, a couple of musicians are from the Bay, and then the rest are out here. So it's like trying to get together. It's like hurting sheep because it's like, "Hey, can y'all get together on Thursday?" And like, "Oh, I have a gig. Okay, how about next week?" But when we do, we really, we don't mess around. We just go in and focus and get the job done and get out because we all have things going on in our lives. A couple of us are, you know, parents, and some of us are not parents or married. They're just, young musicians still playing, playing in several bands. And so they're busy all the time. And I respect that. Like, I'm not going to take that away from you. So I'm like, I'm not going to be one of those band leaders like, "No, it's my band or else." No, it's like, go make your money. Go do what you got to do. And hopefully we can figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Yeah, that's great. And do you have any advice for anyone trying to either start a band or get into music or trying to get into this the crazy industry that it is? Any advice for people that want to pursue music?
And it's a brutal industry. I'm not going to deny it. Like, you got to have some thick skin to be in it. Because, not everybody's going to like you. You're going to be told you suck. You're going to be told you're not good enough. Or you're going to be lied to. Like, "Oh my God, you're so good. Let me help you out." And they don't help you out. What's the word? Gatekeepers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bias. It's just a biased industry. It's like you don't really know who's true and who's not. I've met tons of people, and some I wish I would have made more contact with. I wasn't like the best at it. I was always like not the greatest at like keeping in touch with people back then. I really wish now I did it. Um, but you live and learn, and there's reasons why things happen the way they happen. It's like, okay, don't make those mistakes again. Move on. Maybe that was the reason why I didn't cross past those people ever again after I met them once or twice. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't regret any part of my life. I am where I am because this is where I'm supposed to be. Um, and I wouldn't I wouldn't change it for the world. It's I love it. It's like I have the best of both worlds. I still get to play. I have my children. I have crazy students that are fun. No different from North Carolina kids. They're quirky. They're funny. They're goofy. They drive me crazy. They make me mad. But at the end of the day, they always come together. And and I'm making my connections. Like I know what I'm good at. I know how to make connections with kids. I know how to get them to the believe in themselves. I know how to push them to another limit, whether they want to be musicians or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like my goal in life is just to continue to be better for myself, my kids, and for my students.
Mm.
And hopefully along the way, somebody sees like all the good I did for them and not give me any, I don't want any like praise. Like, I remember when Miss Chapa used to tell me this, and it clicks in her head. Like, I remember when she yelled at me for this and this. And now it makes sense because, oh my gosh, she was so right. I'm not saying I'm always right. It's like I want these kids to know life skills beyond the music because music can teach you some life skills if you just allow it to.
Mm.
And it's the discipline, being accountable. But yeah, just crazy, crazy times. But it's fun.
Beautiful. Yeah. Do we have until 10:15 or 10:20?
I can say 10:20. We can have, yeah, because I have to go pick up my children, take them to a dentist.
Okay. So since we're wrapping up, I usually have two last questions for everyone that comes on. The first one is, what is your favorite Kelly Clarkson song?
Since you've been gone,
Yeah,
I can't breathe. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I
that's a
love
great
that one.
one. Great one.
Uh-huh. Are
She's
you a
from,
Kelly Clark?
yes, I've been to her talk show a few times. I've seen her
Oh,
concerts.
really?
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She's also from Texas. Yeah.
Yes, she
She,
is.
yeah, so she's one of my
Yes, she
favorite.
is.
And then my last question, I usually let everyone ask me a question before we finish up. I wish we had like more time to actually conversate and hang out a little bit, but I had these questions I had to get through and I know we were short on time, but I appreciate you so much for
Oh,
taking the
yeah.
time. Thank you.
I'm sorry the thing wasn't working in the beginning.
Oh, we're good. Thank you. A question for me before we wrap up. Do you have anything that you want to ask me?
Um, are you still singing or are you just doing podcasting?
Both. I'm a music major right now at CSUMB.
Where?
I
Oh, I
gra
didn't know that.
yeah, I graduate in the spring. It's been a lot of fun. I've loved every single second of it, except for music theory. Music theory has been difficult for me. Not that it's hard. I mean, it is hard, but it's just a lot of memorizing, and I struggle memorizing how many sharps, how many flats, all that, the circle of fifths, all that stuff. Um, and I'm more into the performing side. Like I want to sing. So yeah, I'm in choir. I'm taking piano, guitar. Um, a lot of like lecture stuff like music business and music engineering, production. So all that fun stuff. And it's a lot of fun. Um, yeah, I've sang the national anthem at a
Yeah.
few things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah. I mean, there's so many ways to make money in music because I think there's this, there's this like perspective that, you might be a musician, you might be, no, there's so many avenues to make money in it. It's like you can get into arranging, composing, you can get into like writing scores for movies, you can get into the music business side, you can get into the touring world where you're in the management, you're in things where it's just doesn't pertain to playing an instrument. And that's what I try to teach kids. And like there's so many ways to make money in music that doesn't
Mm,
mean you have to play an instrument. I was like, you know how many people who are in the back end of a touring show, who and they make way high six figures just like pulling chords and putting chords together for the audio, or doing video for the artist, or doing lights for the artist, like those guys are making tons of money, probably working 6 months out of the year, making high six figures, and then off for the rest of their life. Like, it's like, yeah, when they're gone, but when they're home, they're home. It's like I have some amazing friends that work in the industry and they work for artists like Bruno Mars, Adele. I mean, you name it, they play and they're working and they don't play instruments. They're just on the back end of it.
mm,
So it's like I try to tell these kids that and they're like, I don't want to be a musician. I'm like, you don't have to be a musician, but you can make money off of it these other
mhm.
ways.
Yeah, that's a big thing that people don't really realize because they hear I'm a music major and they just talk down on it. Oh, do something more serious, do something more realistic and stuff. I'm like, at the end of the day, if it's what you love to do, then it's all about happiness and what you want to do. And there's many different aspects, so many different paths and roads that you can take on. It's not always like one thing. So that's an important thing, yeah, that you said.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like there's so many ways. Well, you gotta be on your feet. I mean, it's definitely a hustle. I'm not gonna deny it. It is a hustle.
Yeah.
You definitely got to hustle. You cannot sit at home where if you know some majors, you can just graduate and a job, you go look for a job and you got a job and you can have that job for 30, 40 years. Where in music, and yeah, you do got to hustle. Like, and depending on how big your name has gotten in whatever sector of the music industry you're in, sometimes you might have work back to back to back to back because your name, has a following. And there's sometimes where you just have to hustle and go grind and make your name well known. And it's okay. So, like, I would tell kids, I heard like one of the best quotes from a musician from Santana, Carl Pedasso. He always says, I'll still go home and take a $50 gig in San Francisco when I come home off tour. And, like, why would you do that? You just got off the road with Santana. He goes, that's $50 that I don't have in my pocket. Why not? He goes,
Mm,
I'm $50 richer. So I looked at it from that, like he's coming from a humble, like, yeah, he's done great things, still touring, doing amazing, making probably great money, obviously, because he's won Grammys with Santana. But he still comes home and still go take that $50 gig or that $100 gig. He has no problem still doing it. Because he's like, I don't have a problem doing it because to the end of the day, that's $100 that I didn't have in my pocket. So now I have $100. And I never look at it from that perspective. And I will. There's some times that I will, and it's not about the money. It's about if the vibe's going to be great. If I know the musicians, like I have no problem making very little money if I know the vibe, the music's going to be fun, the musicians are amazing, and because when it's less work, not less work, it's not hard work when you're working with great players, just to have fun.
mm,
And then when I have to go work if I have to go work a gig, and I have to work my butt off for $50, that's where I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. Like I'll never play for you again. It's like it shouldn't. It's not hard work when you love it and it's fun. And if it's not fun anymore, then you need to put your head down, put your head away, and go do something else.
hmm Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. Yeah. At the end of the day, like you want to have fun, you
Yeah.
want to enjoy, you want to feel the vibes. And yeah, of course. We're out of time.
Mhm.
But thank you so much for
I know.
being
All the
on.
time. No, for
Thank
sure. I appreciate it. You should do this again another time.
Yes, we'll have to do it again with more time. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. And hopefully we'll cross paths soon and hopefully you'll do some more gigs so I can come and check you guys out. I'm super excited. And yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I'm playing at Sly McFly's on Friday. I don't know. Are you of age to go there?
I'm
It's a
25.
cover
Yeah,
band.
I'm 25.
Oh, it's a cover band. It's a cover band. So,
Perfect.
so yeah, I'll
Okay.
be there Friday from like 9 to 12.
Okay,
But yeah.
I'll put it on my calendar. Let's take a picture first before we wrap up.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay, ready? One, two. Think I got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Where can I listen to this?
Um, so it's called Confabulate. It's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Spotify. I post on TikTok as well and on YouTube. Um, so yeah. And you'll see some familiar names. Nicole's been on, Gabe Coaster's been on, Cameron has been on. Yeah, this is 4 years doing this, so I have a list of names of people that you probably know. Yari Bueno. Yeah,
Yari.
yeah, a bunch of people I've been on, so check it out.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
do that.
And
I'll check it out.
I have a whole
I
season
appreciate it.
of album breakdowns, which is all about music, and I go track by track. And I actually did Lemonade by Beyonce, so I break down each of the songs.
Ah,
So there's gonna be a lot of albums there that you know, and yeah, yeah,
nice, nice. That's good. That's good. People don't do that anymore. People just like listen to music. They don't. I don't think they really listen the way you should listen to them. Now,
yeah,
I mean, today's generation, these kids are like, "All right, listen to this music. What do you think about it?" Like, "Oh, it's cool." Like, no, like deeply listen to it. Like, listen to all the look at the chords, the melody. Like, listen to all the nuances. Like the aesthetics of it. And they're like, "Yeah, I don't know what that means." I'm like, "Oh my God."
yes. And I love listening to a record like from start to finish because there's a reason why
Yeah,
the tracks are listed how they are, so it tells a story and it goes a certain way. So yeah.
yeah, true.
Well, thank you
I
so much.
appreciate it. Oh, for sure. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you.